Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Friday Night Movies. I'm Matt Marrero. Who are you? Who's with me?
I'm the bug that's inhabiting your friends behind me. I'm Tristan Walter.
Excellent. Tristan, your face is a little off your face.
You mean like this?
Jesus Christ. That was like some Tim Burton shit. From Beetlejuice. That was horrifying. I loved it. So, we are talking about...
I'm lying because my cat is still looking up at me like, what are you doing? Human, what are you doing? Stop making silly faces and noises at the mythical voice coming out of the other end of the machine thingy and pet me.
God. Yeah, pretty much. So, it's Tristan and I. We're doing another Friday Night Movies. Like I said, we are those guys. We are talking about Men in Black, and my God, does this movie mean so much to me. And it's one of those things, I think, I forget how much it means to me. Like, in passing, I'm like, yeah, Men in Black. And then I watch it, and then, like, these memories start flooding into my head and it just takes me back. Like, for some people, they get taken back to, like, Nostalgia Town with anything. And you would think with the type of, and it's funny because people would think with the type of channels that we have that I'm consistently taken back to Nostalgia Town with like everything that, we play or we do or whatever. But I actually try to go for a lot of varied stuff. And even when it's stuff that I know and love, like something like Mega Man X, I get a good feeling from it, but I don't like think back to like what was going on at the time when I was playing it. Like when I was a kid or something like that. I don't know why. Like I can still see myself in the here and in the now. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't pull me,
right.
Or even Pokemon games. Like I love them still, but they don't pull me back necessarily. I can still play them in the moment in 2019 or whatever current year it is when I'm playing one, right? But with this movie, and not when it's on TV necessarily, always. But I will admit when it's on TBS or something like that, I'll definitely tune in because it's always a fun ride. But for some reason, just watching this right now, waiting to do this podcast and stuff like that, like I was doing a little bit of research on the movie, and it just like I was getting really like drawn in, like right, like my dad and I don't think we went to see this in the theater, but he definitely got this on VHS. Or something like that, because I remember him showing it to me when I was a kid. This came out in 97, so I don't think I saw it in 97, but I would have been 5 at the time, so I was definitely the right age to watch this. Like, I didn't get everything, but I got just enough to follow along at, like, 6 or 7. So
right.
It was, because I didn't get everything, because, like, I didn't know that they were, like, coming in from Mexico as undocumented immigrants. Like I didn't I was like I thought they were being like human trafficked. Like I didn't know. Like I was like, are they being kidnapped? Like, oh my God. Like I'm a kid. So I'm like, why are they in the back of that truck? Yeah, that one doesn't speak Spanish. I can read English, right? Even though I am Hispanic, I didn't know Spanish as a kid. But so like I was like I can read English, so clearly he doesn't know Spanish. Okay. But like I didn't understand like what was going on. Now I'm like, oh, they're being stopped at a border checkpoint, and one of them, it's fucking hilarious because he's an alien. Then you have Tommy Lee Jones' line of like, yeah, good job taking care of the illegal aliens, boys. And I'm like, God damn it, that's actually really funny in this context.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, literally they're dealing with aliens from outer space, and it's like, yeah, good job, guys. You totally are doing your job. You know what's going on. And then, of course, Tommy Lee Jones early, like, welcome to America. Let them all go. Excuse me? Yeah, no, just let them all go. Like, honestly, these are not the people we need to be dealing with right now. Like, when you deal with intergalactic shit on a daily basis, it's just like, guys, we're fine. We're fucking fine. Don't be dicks. Like, we're super fucking fine. None of them are going to blow up the earth. We're good.
Right.
But that's one thing I didn't get. I need to show you something. I mean, no, I understood that it was like obviously with Will Smith's reaction, it was just like, I think I was like, no, as a kid, I knew something was up. I just didn't know what was up.
Right.
Because like I knew something was afoot, but I was like, I don't. Now I'm just like, damn, they about to do it. like as an adult. Well, because even earlier, before they wiped her memory, she was just like, you know what I like to do when I'm stressed? And I'm like, I would like to know what she likes to do. If we can continue this conversation. Dr. White? No, Kay, no. Please, Kay, no.
Not right now. I'm busy.
I didn't realize the K stood for cock block, but apparently here we are. No, but seriously though,
I told you never to use my full name.
I told you never to use. How'd you know my full name? That's like his original name, John Cockblock. But seriously though, this movie, I think the reason why like I have such a huge attachment to it is because, again, like I think I've told you guys about this before, anyone listening in. Tristan, I'm pretty sure you know this just in general, just by me mentioning it over time. But when I was a kid, my dad showed me a lot of the movies that I still love to this day and really got me into a lot of fandoms without realizing it that I'm still into to this day. So like the original TOS, Star Trek, he got me into that, got me into Men in Black, got me into Back to the Future, which inspired my love of time travel. That's why I eventually got into Doctor Who. So there's so many things that I realize that I enjoy, and I'm like, oh, right, yeah, my dad, right? So in this case, this is one of those films where it was just really nice to watch together because, again, like, yes, there was a few things here and there where, you know, you grow up and you're like, ooh, that was naughty. But it's not like the Deadpool movie. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a rated R thing where it's like you have to, like, you know, flip channels when mom and dad walk back into the room. Like, you're not hiding, you know? You're not like,
because this is, wasn't this PG-13? This was meant to be like a family-friendly blockbuster. Yes, there's some things that, like, I will admit, as a kid would definitely scare you. Yeah, I'd say more with, like, the teens or the tweens kind of thing.
Yeah,
not with the
but no, but there's definitely a lot about it though. Like looking at, you know, just Will Smith's general demeanor, the way they jump back to serious to comedy. There's a lot about it that really is meant to just be a very, you know, I would argue family-friendly, action-packed, you know, summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting too because of the fact that something that I didn't know until. Even though I should have known this because it's right in the fucking credits, like right when that mosquito is flying by. But apparently this is based off of a comic book.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, I figured it was based off of somewhere, but I guess, comics first, huh?
Malibu Comics, which was then bought out by Marvel. So in theory, when Thanos snapped, Will Smith could have died.
My God.
I'm being kind of serious. Not really. But, like, his character could have, in theory, died. In theory. Because in theory, they're part of the Marvel Universe. Now, not really, but I mean, they're not going to because the movies still are owned by a different production company, obviously. But funnily enough, if they ever wanted to, they sort of could. Sort of. Anyway, there's also, I think, comic book adaptations of this movie itself as a standalone thing. Because, again, it came from a comic which was much darker because it wasn't Marvel originally. Again, Marvel bought them out. So it was actually much darker. So it's kind of funny. It's a bit like The Mask.
Right, yeah.
No, but it's funny in a creepy way. So, like, in this one, it's just like, oh, what do we do to the witnesses? Well, we have to erase their memory, which I know to some people, especially in the movie itself, Will Smith's character is just like, whoa, should we be doing this? Apparently in the comics, they were like, oh, witnesses, guess we got to murder them. So, you know, I think the mind wipe was a good alternative.
Yeah.
Family-friendly blockbuster. Well, what are we going to do? Literally just shooting them in New York, looking at the UFO, God. Just like, dear God, like I'm.
Would you all please look this way? Okay, what the hell?
Oh my God! Oh, that was
funny.
Sorry,
the batteries ran out on my memory wiper.
In the jewelry,
no!
The jewelry place. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Put down the gun. You know how that irritates? You know, it doesn't kill me, but it still stings. Oh, my God. By the way, Tony Shalhoub played that character who, if you don't know, Tristan, he's Monk. He was Monk for years. I didn't
Right,
watch
yeah.
Monk.
Yeah,
much
I
of it
watched
anyway.
Monk, too.
Oh yeah, he was Monk. It's kind of funny looking at the talent in this movie. Like, of course, you see Will Smith, and you're like, yes, talent. And you see Tommy Lee Jones, and you're like, yeah, talent. But even Vincent D'Onofrio, who played the villain, he went on to be, obviously, he was in Law and Order, I believe, Criminal Intent, which for years, and he's Kingpin in Daredevil.
Right.
So when you saw Kingpin, yes, you were seeing him. And by the way, just him in general having to act like he is an alien, yes, I'm sure they put, obviously at certain points makeup and stuff like that, but the character work he had to do to pull off, like, just kind of walking that way and just feeling like he's just not right in the right body.
Right.
It was beautifully done.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it so much because he just,
and
again, he
even,
just felt alien.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
No, sorry. Think different character.
Okay, but still, no. I loved his work. I love something that I think was also great about this movie. How it really leaned into all of the jokes that people have been making for years about celebrities and also, your English teacher, all that stuff being alien. Like, they just went right into it because those jokes have been made for years before this movie, even came out. Like, for you and I, it seems funny because of the movie, but I mean, people have been calling Bowie an alien for years, Elvis.
My God. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Because, no, I think in a future one, they did a joke about Bowie being an alien as well. But they've done stuff, they've talked about stuff like that for years. So just showing the lineup of people, and if you saw in, like, there was, like, Stallone, there was, oh, God, I forgot what celebrities were up on the wall, like when Kay was talking to Jay.
Yeah.
But there were a bunch of celebrities up.
Yeah,
it was like
on the board.
Yeah, on the board. Yeah, it was like Stallone, and I know, like, it was Al Roker.
Yeah.
I'm thinking who else. And then, of course, it turned into, it's like, oh, I knew my English teacher was from Venus or something. Yeah, no, she actually was. What?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, she was. She was from Venus. And then literally
Your
cut the
intuition
footage
is pretty...
of her.
Your intuition is on the spot, kid. There's a reason I picked you.
Oh, my God. But no, I have to say though, I mean, good intuition. Just to be frank, there, like, legit though, he was really good at that. That, like, he ran down an alien in a way that I was like, all right, I know we're in an action movie here, but you ran up those stairs real quick.
Right.
In the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he ran up so quick. I was like, all right, are you an alien? Will Smith. Or what was his
he ran down
name?
a cephalopoid on foot.
Yeah.
Or
James.
Kay, are you sure he is not also an alien?
James Darrell Edwards. Yeah, James Darrell Edwards III. The name of the character, because he became Jay. Also, it was just nice to see him as a cop, just doing his thing, just, on the beat and everything. Like, it was. Well, I liked it because it's just something that, it normalizes stuff like that nowadays, and I don't want to get, political or anything. I'm just pointing out something that does happen on the internet, guys. So if you don't like it, sorry, it's not us, it's on the internet, right? I'm just talking about stuff that, I see personally in comments and stuff like that. If that would happen today, you just have people being like, oh, my God, diversity. Ugh, the libs at it again.
Fucking
and
shit.
It's just... Exactly, and it's just nice. I mean, I'm not saying that didn't happen at the time when the movie came out. We were fucking 5. But I'm just saying that, like, we're watching something that's like, he's a loose cannon cop, but what movie doesn't have a loose cannon cop?
Yeah, right.
Regardless of race, what movie doesn't have a loose cannon cop? I mean, literally, just thinking of one off the top of my head, the first Mad Max. Mel Gibson's character was... Well, maybe not much in the first one. It was towards the end of the first one, and then in the later movies, it's just loose cannon cop. But yeah, so it's just, it's just something that's just nice. Like, yeah, he's just, because in the comic, he was actually a blonde-haired dude. So I'm not saying that there wouldn't have been someone, charismatic who would be, white with blonde hair, but I have to say that, just seeing Will Smith in this role, I can't imagine someone else being Jay. Like, Will Smith killed it. Okay, so we are having some phone problems, so I'm gonna blame aliens trying to invade the Earth. So, Tristan, last thing that I said is that I can't imagine anyone else playing Jay because I think that Will Smith killed it. What are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, no, I thought he was great in this. Honestly, me thinking back, and I don't know how many movies I've seen with Will Smith because there are a lot of movies that I miss. But like, when I think of Will Smith, this is usually what comes to mind. Like, I usually see Men in Black.
And that's fair. And what's interesting too is I know that he generally is a peppy guy, and he brings that to his character. He's very energetic. But I feel as if there's something about the way he plays these characters. And to be fair, I also haven't seen a lot of movies with Will Smith, or TV shows or things like that. But I've seen this, and I've seen a lot of Fresh Prince. And I just feel like even though some might say that it's not a subtle difference enough, I do feel like they really are different characters. Him, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and him in this role. No, because there's a lot of quips for both. But I just feel if he does feel like he is an adult here, where there he really does feel like a kid, a teenager. Even when he's in college, when his character is in college, he still has that air of, no, I'm still this, this funny guy from Philly. Where here, I'm not saying he feels like this, hardened, I'm getting too old for this shit kind of cop. But because, of course, he's still like this, I'm against authority, I'm a rebel, et cetera, et cetera. He still has that in him, yes, in his character. But I don't know, there's something about it that maybe it's because I saw this first before Fresh Prince. I don't know. Maybe that's just my brain doing that. But I feel like I've seen, at this point in my life, I've seen enough Fresh Prince, and I've seen this movie enough times to really feel like they are two different characters and to not feel like it's just the same thing, the exact same thing. Rather, obviously there are similarities. There are similarities with certain actors, unless they're method actors who really go outside, the realm, just any realm of human of comprehension. I don't know how to explain it. No, but you look at someone like Daniel Day-Lewis or like Gary Oldman, and in that case, I'm like, you are completely different. Right, but I feel like there are certain actors where you can go, okay, yes, this is a role that I've seen you in somewhat before, but how are you going to make this one a bit different than your other one? Right. If you get what I'm saying, So in this case, I feel like he is different enough from his Fresh Prince persona, but still playing it somewhat safe, but in a way that I do think works. That's the thing too, is that if it didn't work, then I'd say, oh, it seems like it's tired shtick. But for me, at least with this first movie, it does not seem tired. Maybe if someone had seen Independence Day, or I know I saw Bad Boys when I was a kid. Right. So I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think I saw some of it at the very least. So because I'm thinking of movies that Will Smith was in that I saw. I don't know. Just for some reason,
was the new Independence Day that he was it, or because wasn't there a newer one done more recently?
Yeah, he was not in that one.
Oh,
that's the problem.
Right.
He was in the first one, and that's one of the things that put him on the map.
In the first one. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
That's the issue. Is that people are like, is Will Smith going to be back? No. And then it was like, but you're getting Jeff Goldblum, and people were like, well, that is fair. We are getting Jeff Goldblum. But people really wanted Will Smith back. I don't know what he was filming at the time, or if he just said no to the script, because I don't think he was filming Aladdin, because this is from like a while ago. So I honestly don't know what he was doing, but he did not do that, and people were like, "Ooh, is that a bad sign?"
Yeah, right.
But no, it's there's some parts of this movie, funnily enough, that I like. That when the UFO crashed, and you literally have a farmer with his pea shooter, and I'm like, this is Dragon Ball. I think this is Dragon Ball. And then no, there were a few scenes that did stuff like that. Like when Will Smith drags the table across the room, thinking outside the box. I'm sitting there and I'm like, God. I don't know, it just something about it feels like a My Hero Academia scene. Like I could just hear like that song? Was it like All Say Run or something? Just going as he's doing it.
Oh my god.
I don't know
just
why.
Like instead of the table screeching across the floor, you hear that song play every time he like moves it.
Oh my god. No, but it's just it's only because it's just one of those things that like it seems like that got him more points than anything he may have done on the test itself. Like he could have done well on the test, but the idea is that you're thinking outside the box, and that matters.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, because everyone's like, "Ooh, how do I write with this? Oh God, it's not working." And then even him, he's like, "Oh God, I broke my pencil immediately." So it's like there's a table right there. Don't screech it. Like that shows like the whole like your unrefined rough edges, but like still like pick up the table. Then he even offered it to the other dude. Like, hey, you want in on this? Like you want to use the table? Oh, by the way, too,
my favorite part of that test is just when they're in the shooting range. It's like,
oh God,
what
white
the
girl
hell
in the ghetto,
there?
white girl in the ghetto at this time.
And I think she's about 8 years old. She's about to make shit go down.
Yeah, no, basic, and it was just, and it's just really.
The guy just like rolls his eyes and walks out, and he's like, "That was a good shot, though, right?" And the other guy just like awkwardly like turns away.
Well, I mean, it's funny because you obviously they were trying to juxtapose this idea of like, oh, the rest of them. Even though I brought up race before, regardless of race, the rest of them are just, decorated official army, Marine, like just all this stuff. And you just have Will Smith like, I'm just a cop who runs the streets of New York, and I know the streets. And it's kind of interesting to see how well he knows the streets when it's like, yeah, no, I know this guy. I mean, man, this guy definitely sells Rolexes, but he doesn't sell guns.
Too.
Yeah, he doesn't sell guns though, and it's like, well, not the guns you know, kid. Like, not the kind of guns you're used to. It's just he does his job well, and I think that's the thing. It's just showing him in this role, just being a competent cop who gets in a little bit too deep, but not because he could have went south real quick. And I think that's what's so cool about this movie is that like we just took a very fun approach to it, because it could have went the route of, you're in too deep, kid. You got to lose your name, otherwise you're going to lose your life. No, it's just like, hey, you want to like stop aliens with us? By the way, aliens exist? Just because you seem like you don't know that? A little shock to you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just nice to kind of have this. It's a very interesting plot, and look, I'm not saying I don't want to pick up the comics and see where it first started, and if it has a darker tone, because another thing too, not just that it had a darker tone, but they didn't just focus on aliens in the comics. Apparently they went after like vampires, werewolves, like anything supernatural. They were like, we need to look into this, which I got to admit,
to deal with it.
Yes, I got to admit, would actually be cool if International or any other future spin-offs do go into that territory. Because why the hell not? I like me some aliens, right? But we've gotten 3 movies of aliens. Why not go somewhere else, right? In that regard. I mean, aliens exist. I'm not going to sit here and be like, whoa, and vampires? This is dumb. No, aliens exist. We're there, right? Like we've crossed the threshold into weird. And literally anyone can be an alien. I mean, the fucking dog was an alien, which I loved. I don't know why. Just him shaking the dog puppet. Like, it shouldn't be funny. It shouldn't. It's wrong. You don't do that. But just him shaking the dog puppet, and then him Will Smith having to...
The dog owes my friend money. It's
That's
okay.
the first one.
Just go.
Keep going. Then the second one, he was like, oh, no, he's doing a ventriloquism act. Don't worry, because Frank is just fucking talking in public. Oh. So it's like, what do you do?
I love when they even just walk up to the stand. It's like, wow, that guy's got to be an alien. That's the worst disguise I've ever seen. Hey. And the fucking dog starts talking.
By the way, odd question. Was that, I'm not kidding, I'm being serious here. Was that Riff Raff from Rocky Horror, or was that like a take on Riff Raff? Because he looked like him.
Possibly. I haven't actually seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen Rocky Horror?
Oh,
no, dude, it's fine. No, dude, it's fine. Lose my fucking number. Get out of my life.
We're
done.
You were gonna fucking start something. Look, the way I see it, you don't start nothing, you don't get nothing. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that your auntie? Oh, and I bet this one was your uncle.
Oh my God, that was fun because again, it shows the quick wit of this character, like in tough situations like this. One thing that I do have to say though, that I think the movie, even though again I understand that the movie has to gloss over certain things, I get it. It's supposed to be fun for the family, I get it. But the one thing that feels odd to me is the ability for one agent to decommission another without talking to any higher ups. Like, I know this is technically not a government organization. They mentioned in a good, by the way, that was a good save when it's like, so who do we report to? Nobody. How do we fund this? Oh, we got patents on shit that came from fucking Roswell. They didn't say it out loud, but they alluded to, like, we have patents on stuff that came from aliens, so we got, like, Velcro, and, like,
microwave.
Yeah.
God.
Which, no, but again, like it takes, like I mentioned earlier, it takes the jokes that people have been talking about since like, I'm going to say since like the 70s, 80s, early 90s, and just wraps them into this really fun movie that it works. Because people say all the time, like, oh, how do we have Apple phones? And people are like, aliens. It's like, or a smart guy. Aliens, though, probably aliens. Or smart people
guys
coming together.
Oh, what did you think I just said?
That's it, yeah, right. No, that's the thing. Like, it just comes down to that, where she's like, what happened to Elvis? Either not dead or alien, or not dead, alien. It's like, Jesus Christ. Not dead, alien, Hawaii, not dead. Like, it just becomes like a Mad Libs of conspiracy theories. And so it's kind of funny to have this movie just take all of that and just kind of put it out as this. So they have all this money, but it's still odd that like Kay doesn't have to talk to Zed about fucking decommissioning his old partner.
Right.
Nor does Jay have to talk to Zed about decommissioning Kay. Like, I feel like that's something that the head boss would like to know. Like, you've been on this for 2 days, and apparently now you're in charge. You want to recruit her for some reason, and now
Kay told me to do it. Well, you wiped his memory, so I can't even confirm that now, can I?
Legit, yes. That's not even a joke.
Yeah.
That's an actual thing.
But,
and I get it.
No,
I
you're
get
right.
It.
You are right. But it does feel like that thing where if you're there already, you've earned the trust of pretty much. It's weird, but like the previous, they're like, oh, the previous agent told you to send him out to pasture, huh? Can we not say it like that? All I did was wipe his memory.
Poor guy. I mean, he's literally with the woman that he loves. Poor son of a gun. May God have mercy on his soul.
God.
He looks happy.
You let him go back to being happily married? The fuck? You should have just shot him. My God, is that what happens to everyone who leaves here? Oh, no. Most of them get eaten. I should have realized that was the answer to that question.
Kay was also eaten, technically.
Oh, my God.
Went
to get my gun back.
By the way, yes. Also, just using like random pieces of tech in the area, like that one ball, like one of the the Super Ball, that was just kind of flying around. You know what I'm thinking of, like the bouncy ball, basically. Like I forgot what they call them, like in the real world.
Oh, jeez.
But
I'll pay for that. Oh God.
No. But it's the fact that
out. Sorry. First day.
No, but it's the fact that you had Kay basically saying, like, yeah, that caused the 1973 New York blackout. And other stuff where, like, well, really? Alien saucers? Yeah, why do you think we had the World Fair in Queens? Like, it's little stuff like that where it's like, yeah, why did we have the World Fair in Queens?
Well, it's funny because I thought he, like, it looked to me like Jay just looks over like, you did not just say that. All I could hear was you being like, "I'm sorry."
So on the wall of aliens, right? We had, like I mentioned earlier, we had Stallone, we have Al Roker, we have Steven Spielberg who produced this. Lucas is on the wall too. He's writing on the far right. We have a congresswoman on the bottom right-hand corner. I don't know who she is. And we have, I think it's a young Rush Limbaugh next to Stallone. Because it's not Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck is newer. I'm pretty sure that's a young Rush Limbaugh. If it's not, no, Newt Gingrich. That's who it is next to Stallone. And so it's just kind of funny seeing these. Like, it's like, oh, we'll take politicians, we'll take weathermen, we'll take actors, we'll take, directors, producers. It's just really funny who ended up being. By the way, question. One person on the wall, he was a musician on the bottom. Was he the musician from The Cure?
I'm not sure.
Do you know anything about them or no?
I know of them, but not a lot.
Okay. I know nothing. I just know that a YouTuber that you and I follow is a fan. So that she'll post stuff like that on her Twitter, and I'm like, oh, that looks like the dude from The Cure. I don't know who the fuck he is, but it would just be a funny, just reference to musicians and stuff if you just put random. Because again, I know in the second movie or third one, I'm pretty sure it was the second one. The second one they made a Michael Jackson joke.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure Bowie was in the background as well. They mentioned him. I love that we have D'Onofrio's character freaking driving the pest control, the Zappum Roach truck,
right, for
most of the movie. It's just funny. It's just funny to me because it's just he's taking something that's we're supposed to kill these things, and it's just this is the me-mobile. He doesn't realize how out there, how he sticks out like a sore thumb because he's a fucking alien.
Right.
When you're driving around in that, it's where did the guy go? You mean the giant roach truck?
Yeah, or when he's following the taxi cab and the guy gets out to meet the other alien at the diner that he stops at, and he's folding himself and trying to put his face on his hands and just look in his general direction with the fucking door wide open as if nobody is looking at this what in the fuck? I know it's New York, but I feel someone would be what? At least someone walking by the fuck is this guy on?
Yeah. Also, not the biggest fan of the CG at the time. I know we're watching the Blu-ray version, so of course it's going to look a little messy, but wasn't the biggest fan of the CG at the time. But again, it was supposed to just be for fun. It wasn't trying to be the biggest. Yeah, I know. But I'm saying it was supposed to be the biggest action superhero movie. Because
oh yeah.
If it was, then I'd give it some more. I give it some more flack, but it's just trying to be fun, especially having the scene where Will Smith has to deliver a squid baby, basically a fucking Lovecraftian horror child, and it's so funny.
You can kiss my ass, kid. Flying through the fucking
You're doing fine, kid.
Back and forth.
You're doing fine, kid.
You know what?
Ah!
Yeah,
it's
doing
thrown
fine,
around.
Kid.
And then
wow, you know what? It's actually kind of cute. I don't know why I expected anything else.
Honestly, though, it actually was kind of cute. Again, it was a baby Lovecraftian horror, but it was still adorable.
It's still a child.
Yeah, no. Oh my God! But I got to say though, their use of practical effects when necessary. I'm pretty sure that baby, once it was out, was practical.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did a few things here and there. I'm pretty sure they animated one of the tentacles, the longer one. But when he's holding it, they made that shit. They made those little shits that were serving coffee and smoking cigs. I love how they were carrying the Marlboros out, by the way.
Yeah, they were
real.
Sure they were puppets. Yeah,
they're real. I saw them.
Right.
Let me explain. What? When I went to Orlando Studios with my dad, they were in the ride. They were animatronic.
Matt. I believe you. I'm sure you saw them. I'm sure you get coffee with them.
Yeah, right? Oh, my God. Those little shits.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I love the head guy just screams at them, "You ungrateful little bastard!"
Because literally it's
planet.
Well, yeah, exactly, because every alien's yo, we got to get out of here. And they're just yeah, sorry, Jay, we got to get out too, man. Sorry, Zed. No, but I love that they have like one of them had a fucking suitcase with a sticker that said "I love New York," and then the other one just had all of their cigarettes, all cartons of cigarettes. Like they're just gonna fucking bring cartons of cigarettes off planet. But anyway, no, but I saw them. They were animatronics in a Men in Black ride that I did not like, that I'm pretty sure got shut down and changed up a bit, or they fixed it, because at the time it was brand new, so it was constantly breaking down. So I'm pretty sure they either fixed it or they changed it to another Men in Black ride. But when I went at the time, which was when I went, Tristan, it was the year 2000. Actually, nope, sorry, it was 2000. Yeah, no, late 2000. So when I went, I gotta see if there's some. No, because I have footage of me and my dad going, but I'm wondering if he actually took his camera, like, on rides when he shouldn't have. Huh. That's interesting. No, because that'll go up on our TG Productions YouTube channel. Because those rides, some of them are gone.
Are gone, right?
So, like, if there's no footage of them, and I have footage of them, well,
that's fair.
Yeah. But anyway, that's another note for another day.
Would you like to ride upon a time machine? Click this video. Wait, what?
Basically.
Oh, it's an old decommissioned Disney ride. What the fuck?
But again, he wouldn't have it of that ride because it consistently broke down. I'm pretty sure it broke down as we were on it, or like right before we were getting on it. They were like, "Sorry, broke down too much. Come back later, maintenance." And I'm like, those damn fucking aliens. You know, those little because the four little aliens are like, they're like not narrating the ride, but they're kind of like making snide comments when you go by them.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, there was a ride for them at or in general Men in Black at Orlando Studios. So I think again they replaced it with like a you can shoot 'em type of ride, the same way that the same way that Jay does in the in the training.
Right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the one I remember.
When
or
did you
like
go?
I've seen. Oh God, I don't. I
think you went after me, right?
Yeah.
You still went when Kong was there, though. King Kong Confrontation. Oh, such a good ride. I will never forget that ride. God damn it.
Right. Just
I'll never
forget the Jaws ride.
Yes. Oh, dude, I felt the fire. I was like, am I gonna die on this boat?
Yes, that's how I felt as well.
I still don't know how deep the water was. Like, I'm pretty sure I could just stand in it.
You were a man of culture as well.
No, I'm pretty sure I could just stand in it, but it felt like that fucking shark could kill me if it came to life.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if that shark
I was going to die.
Yeah, no. If that shark got 5 Nights at Freddy's, I'd be fucked.
My God.
Oh, yeah. And it was even scarier. I don't think they had a full shark, like full fake shark. I think they only had the half. But like it's even scarier because the rest of it is just like no. It's not like a full shark. Like the rest of it's just like animatronic, robotic. Like that's even more terrifying.
Right.
Be like, dear God, put fake skin on the back of that thing.
5 Nights at Kong's.
Oh God. Oh, I would hope King Kong, one of the 3 animatronics, would help save me from the Jaws monster.
My God, no, Kong's the boss.
Oh, God. One of the Kongs would be nice. You know, they have like 3 Kong animatronics.
And then the Jurassic Park ride comes out.
You know who would be little shits, little bastards? Those fucking aliens. They'd be running out. Hey, man, we gotta
go. Or laughing at you as you're eating. No, you know what would help you? The robot from fucking Star Wars ride, Star Tours.
That wasn't there at the time.
No, it wasn't.
So, that tells you how my life would end. It wasn't there at the time. Squish. So, another funny thing, too, just the idea of all of those really shitty tabloids that I'm pretty sure still exist in some way or another. But those shitty tabloids.
Investigative journalism in the city. You can read the New York Times if you want. You might get lucky sometime.
Sometimes they get it right.
My God.
No, but I love it too because it's like aliens stole my husband's skin, and it's like that actually was a lead.
Well,
because it's funny because it's like if you in a world where all of that is legit, but of course due to the subject matter, it's looked at as bullshit.
Right. I guess nobody believes it, so they don't have to do anything about it anyway. Or maybe they have like a deal going with them. But like you'd think Kay would be like, they're technically reporting on the stuff that no one should know about, but no one's taking it seriously anyway, so it's fine, I guess.
Yeah, dude. Think about the people. Literally, think about the people who say,
"Oh no, I know.
There was an alien in the sky, and it flew right by, and it was terrifying." And people are like, yeah, of course, yeah, alien in the sky. How much have you had to drink tonight, sir? This many. All right, he put up a lot of fingers. Okay, so man, let's just take him home. Like he'll be fine. That's the thing. Like that's the whole point. Is that it's just like
he put up both of his thumbs. I'm not sure if he's fucking with me or not.
But the point is like you've definitely had a lot at that point.
Right.
So yeah, let's take him home. So the idea is, Tristan, is that like no one fucking believes it. So like again, like the cops laughed at her, but of course you have the two of them, just like any X-Files episode or something like that. You have the two of them being like, no, let's.
No, ma'am, we're not here to laugh at you.
Yeah, let's actually.
The FBI does not have any sense of humor that I'm aware of at this moment.
I fucking loved how he phrased that. But
but that's the best part. That's what I was gonna say earlier with with Will Smith making Jay a little more funny with quips here and there, but he's the perfect foil to Kay's delivery of the dry sarcasm and just complete deadpan lines.
But on your
they're
seatbelt.
the perfect foil to each other.
Ah,
you might want to wear a seatbelt.
You're a young man. Come on.
Oh my God!
You gotta relax. Lighten up. As
a young man like
down.
you shouldn't be this tense.
As he's upside down in the fucking Batmobile.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, Denver has a car that defies gravity. That was another.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Denver. It was. I thought it was Detroit.
Or, yeah, something like that.
But here's something else too interesting comparing to the comics. So in this version, in the movies, it seems as if they're keeping everything under wraps for the understandable reason of, hey man, people aren't gonna fucking get it. Like people aren't gonna fucking get it. Like, oh really? A person might get it every now and again. That's why they have the organization. Right? A person can get it. Of course, they'll mind wipe anyone who's like, you know what, no, I'm not good with this. Because to be fair, if he had a wife and kids, why the fuck would he want to leave them to fight aliens?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
You want to. It's too much of a liability. It's too much of a risk too. Like, what if he wants to go back? Like, it's all that work to train them and get them in and do all that. So like, I understand if he had a wife and kids, but apparently he has nobody. So he's like, hey man, I'm just doing my job. This is what I've poured myself into. So this is just another job. Why not? But what I was gonna say though is in this version, again, they're trying to
before like I do a good job and I help people, but like it's a thankless job. Well, don't worry, kid. This one's even less of a thankful job.
Exactly.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, right. So in this situation, we're trying to keep order. In the comics, apparently, they're trying to not just keep order, but kind of meld the world in their favor.
Oh.
So like one character apparently gets fed up with this, who's not one of these two, who's one that we don't see in this movie, I believe, and it kind of gets because he finds out that like, wait a minute, they're not just doing this for the greater good, they're doing it for the greater good of the organization. Like we will have, like in other words, it's kind of like this idea that's like, oh, we will keep all this under wraps because it's empowering us. Like we have this tech and we have the, I would assume, again, I haven't read the comics, but it's just this idea of, it is our world. Where in this case, it's very altruistic in a sense because it's like it's their own money.
Right.
They're not even apparently working with the United States government, which is odd, but understandable to a certain extent.
Right.
So literally,
that
it's
would
like
make
they just,
things much more complicated.
I mean, even if it was just, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean,
But
Doctor Who
also
works.
the accountability would be there.
I mean, I'm just saying.
more,
I know
probably.
the Doctor is just the Doctor, but like Doctor Who works. Like the president knows who the Doctor is occasionally.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? No, I'm just saying that, like, you know, Doctor Who somehow manages to keep on turning.
To
So
balance
like,
it, yeah, right.
so like, if the president knew, and like, and again, once the president's not the president anymore, he gets decommissioned.
Right.
You know, so like, I feel like, because obviously there are some government secrets that we don't know about that I'm not looking into. Please don't. I'm good. I'm chill. Just saying that out loud in the off chance. So anyway, but still, there's obviously secrets that some people know that we will never be privy to. I'm not going to try to speculate on what those are, but like, again, there has to be some shit that is like in some document, you know, in some document somewhere that only like 4 people know about, and like 2 of them are dead from natural causes. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like, there are people in the government who could know about this, and it wouldn't be the end of the world as we know it, especially if they have those devices, right? It'd be fine. But what I'm saying is that it's interesting that, again, it's very altruistic, it's very chill in the movie, because, again, you don't want to get into that. They wanted to make it fun, just very, you know, family-friendly. They didn't want to go too deep, because I'm not saying you can't go too deep, but in my opinion, that's kind of what something like X-Files is for.
Right.
You know? Like, if I want to see stuff like that, where it's like, oh, a senator is working with the X-Files team. It's just Mulder and Scully.
Right.
Working with the
X-Files
X-Files
they get
team.
super serious.
Yeah, exactly. To try to take down whoever is hiding these secrets, and oh no, death.
Right.
What will they do? Will they be shut down? In this case, it's just like, no, we're having a good time fucking with aliens. Like,
right.
Like,
and like,
literally,
you know, not that can't be cool because X-Files is fucking amazing, but like I feel like for a movie for like an hour and a half runtime, yeah, you want something a little more lighthearted with, you know, the ha-has. With some action still, and, you know, a bit more serious. Like, the Earth almost got blown up, so, you know, that was a thing.
I'm just saying it's good to have both.
They're up there going to blow up the world. Yeah, there's always a death ray or this, that, or the other thing. That doesn't mean we can blow up half a city block, Jay. Come on. I know you're new, but fuck, man. This is going to take forever for me to call in and clean up. Can you get a truck down here and clean your shit up, please?
No, that was fucking hilarious. I'm just saying that, like, it's good to have both, you know? Like, you have one where it's like, do, 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 and this one it's like, here comes the man in black. Like, it's just fun to have both, you know what I mean?
Right,
like,
exactly.
on one, you know, you have, like, you know, it's like, ooh, there's some tension you can cut with a knife between Mulder and Scully. And this one, Will Smith raps at the end. Like, we have a good time. Either way. Different types of good times, you know? That's what I'm saying. Like, I think I'm okay with both. Like, one doesn't have to be more serious than the other, et cetera, et cetera. Like, both can exist. And I would argue one can kind of lead you into the other. So as a kid, I watched Men in Black. Now, every now and again, I try to put on some X-Files because that's some damn good shit. You know?
Right.
So it feels like it's kind of a good lead-in. I mean, I will admit, I do wish we could have seen more of a serious take because of the comics. I will fully admit that. Just because, you know me, I'm not a complete Puritan when it comes to adaptations, but it would be nice a little bit. But again, just looking back as to what we got, and also what we have now, the 3 movies, the cartoon and the games, and you know, and the newest one coming out with Tessa Thompson,
right,
and with why can't I remember his name? Thor, Hemsworth. I'm perfectly fine with what came from it. But anyway, what were you going to say?
No, I'm just laughing, thinking about, you know, a more serious take. So instead of, like, the hip-hop rap, kind of like, you know, here come the men in black, it's like, here come the men in black. It's just like death metal immediately starting up.
It wouldn't be. It would be smooth jazz to murder. Be smooth.
Smooth jazz
It'd be very chill. I don't know. Like, when you see the comic, when you see the art style, it doesn't seem like it would be rock.
I want that to be a band name.
Smooth jazz to murder.
How you cannot tell me that wouldn't be an amazing band name?
You're not telling me it's already the name of a band? It sounds like it already is.
That's fair.
It sounds like someone might have coined that already.
Bold of you to assume that it's not already a band name.
Oh man, but no, I just think that this movie worked very well. Again, it was written to complement Will Smith's strengths as an actor, and again, just playing off Tommy Lee Jones, like you said earlier, it just works. That's the thing. Like, there's something about, like, if you know what's the coolest thing about certain movies, just like this one, when you say it out loud, it sounds dumb as shit, and someone says, a lot of people I would argue would say that's going to fail. But when you see it in motion, you're like, wow, this is an amazing concept, and it's very interesting. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
No, like, because there's certain things where, like, okay, right, like, Ryan Reynolds is going to voice over an electric mouse, and he's going to be with a kid who's looking for his dad, and his dad was a detective, and they're fighting other, like, monsters across the world, and there's, like, an evil organization, and, yeah, it's based off of that kid's cartoon. You'd be like, what the fuck? And then you see Detective Pikachu, and you're like, this works, and it's so good, and it's so fun, and I cried. Right? Like, I'm saying, like, when you describe certain movies, I don't think it's any movie. In some ways it could be, but it's not any movie. It's just you describe certain movies that really work. And usually I feel as if the ones that work in a very interesting way, you describe them and you're like, that fucking doesn't work on like, it doesn't sound right. Like, on paper, you're like, I don't know. Right? Where you're like, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, they're fighting aliens. It's like, all right. And then you see it and you're like, actually, this is brilliant. That's what I mean. Like, it just works. And I don't think it's just, I hope it's not just nostalgia. I hope so. Because I think that, you know, I would want to show this to my kid. And then he's like, Daddy, what did she want to show him? And I'm like, God damn it. Marble collection. I don't know. My wife. Why'd you say marble collection? I don't fucking know. What was I going to say?
Right.
Well, just there's certain scenes I wouldn't know how to explain to my child. How did she give birth to that? My wife, don't.
Don't worry about it.
My wife looks at me, don't. Hey! What's I gonna do? I don't have a kid. I'm just saying, like, in the off chance that I do have one, I would show them Men in Black. Right. That would be part of the schedule. I don't know if they'd like it, but I'd show them Men in Black.
Right, yeah. It's on the bucket list.
It's on the bucket list, yeah. But no, it was just, again, like, I just feel like they all had fun. You could tell that they had fun. You could tell that they played off of each other well. I don't know what the original script looked like, but, you know, you could tell that it just, they worked well together. Like, if they hated each other, my God, were they professionals. I'm talking about specifically Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, you know? Like, if they hated each other, my God, it still somehow worked.
Right.
What's odd to me, though, is Tommy Lee Jones is someone who maybe, like, he's someone who looks it out of the last few movies, or even just looking him up, like, you know, Googling his name or something, he's someone who, it's a bit different than someone like Patrick Stewart, or actually maybe it's hard to explain, because even in this movie, what I'm trying to say is he looks old. Like, when you see him with his partner, it's funny how it's like his partner in the beginning of the movie looks very old, but it's not like Tommy Lee Jones is supposed to be this spry young guy. I mean, again, by the end of the movie, he's like, maybe I should retire. I'm looking for a replacement, right? But what I'm trying to get at here is that I don't know, there's something about him that's so spry, even with that. Like the fact that it's like, it's kind of like, oh, I've been around the ringer. It's like, yeah, I've been doing this for a while, kid. But there's just something about the way he acts about it that really doesn't make it seems like he is still, like, in his 30s.
Right, yeah.
Like, yes, there is a little bit now and again when it does seem like he's a little bit, you know, too old for this shit. But there's something about it that it just doesn't seem like he's in his, like, he's not in his 60s at the time. Like, he's maybe in his 50s?
Right.
The character? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, because it's funny, because technically I guess it was, I don't know if they ever, did they say how long of, like, a time skip it was between him with his mentor, and then when he picks up, I guess it couldn't have been that long.
I thought it wasn't
when
a time
he picks
skip.
up Jay.
I thought it was like very
like
soon
last
after.
week. Or
yeah,
last
I thought
month.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
I was
the weird thing.
because you legit can't do that job on your own. I'm being serious.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and it's weird because you'd think, like, sure, Kay's getting up there, but, like, he's not as old as his mentor was when he left, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. You'd think he would stick around, like, even Jay's like, dude, I've been on this job, like, 2 days, and you did a great job. I'm not saying I didn't, but, like, I don't know everything yet. Could you give me, like, a month at least? Like, can I have a training period? Holy shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I feel like they wanted to wrap it up so quick and, make
Right.
everything high tension that, like, it's kind of like, but it has only been 2 days. And it's kind of funny how with the next two movies, they don't necessarily rewrite that, but they kind of realize that they had such a good formula with the two of them that,
right.
I don't know. I wonder if they really...
Guys, we can't throw this away.
Well, that's the thing. I wonder if they thankfully didn't believe they would get a sequel. And I say thankfully because I like when movies don't think they're going to get a sequel just right off the bat. Like, I kind of dislike that.
It's nice to have it self-contained. Yeah.
Because there, some of you guys might call me, very negative in this case, but an old fogey. Thank you. That's actually a great one. But I'm being serious because even though I like, let's say, like newer Marvel movies and newer franchises, I do, and I even think of them as, like we're going to have another episode of this in Star Wars, or we're going to have another, sequel to X, Y, or Z. But I don't like when certain movies, especially brand new ones that aren't established franchises, like I think it was it was the Mummy, right? The new Mummy with wasn't Tom Cruise in it? You know what I'm thinking of. They were trying to establish like a dark universe thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But the thing, and by the way, I'm not saying that they can't have that thought in their heads, but I feel like they were so focused on having a dark universe, it was just like, but can you focus on this movie being good and working instead of trying to connect it to other movies? And then guess what? The movie flopped, and now there's no dark universe. Even though there could have been some great actors playing some of these other characters. Like, I'm pretty sure Johnny Depp was supposed to be the Invisible Man.
Right.
Like, that's interesting, but not going to happen.
Yeah. Right. That's the thing. You got to make sure that you got to make sure your first attempt is solid enough to be able to launch into that.
Yeah, or like the DC movies where it was just like, for a bit there, it was just like, hey, how about in Batman v Superman, we set up for Justice League and the entire DC, universe right now. And it's like, or you make a good Batman versus Superman movie. And now it's like, now we have another Batman rumored. It's like, yeah, because you have your actors leaving. You have fucking Cavill leaving as Superman, or left technically already. You have, you have Affleck leaving, or technically, obviously at this point, completely left as Batman. It's not good. You have to actually focus on good movies, and then maybe they'll want to stay.
Right.
And then you'll have a franchise. I mean, that's basically what you've had with Disney, Marvel, the Avengers. And everything culminated in Endgame. Not going to spoil it for anyone, but everything culminated well in Endgame because it literally took over 10 years to actually make this thing work. So, getting back to Men in Black, I'm just happy that it seemed like, yes, they left it open, don't get me wrong. Like, they did, you could argue they left it open at the end for the two characters to come back, but it really did feel like they closed that loop well with Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. Even though I think it was too fast, still, it was nice.
Right.
So I like that they kind of, this was kind of I don't want to say somewhat of an unexpected success because, again, Will Smith was in Independence Day, which I believe was before this movie. So I'm pretty sure Will Smith, being on Fresh Prince and being in Independence Day, this wasn't a complete shock. Like, whoa, Will Smith doing well at the box office? No way.
Right.
But it still was maybe something that was meant to be like, oh, this will be a fun little thing. And then it just exploded.
Oh, okay, wow.
What?
Yeah, Independence Day was 96, so that came out the year before. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, and that movie blew up. I mean, dude, the trailer for it, they did a Super Bowl trailer. And in the Super Bowl trailer, the White House blew up. Like, they had the scene where, like, the White House explodes from the movie.
Right, yeah.
They just use that as their fucking Super Bowl ad.
Well.
So, yeah, no, dude, imagine you're watching the fucking Super Bowl, and then during one of the commercials, the fucking White House explodes, and and you're like, what the fuck? And it just reads, Independence Day. Like, holy shit, I want to see what that is.
Right. Oh, God.
Yeah. So the movie did very well. So obviously he was in that. He was also he was in Bad Boys in '95. And of course, yeah. Oh, I think I don't know if I saw Bad Boys or Wild Wild West. Either way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's not like he was new and upcoming and they just said, "You know what? Let's give him a try." It's like, no, he had done shit and they're like, "Yeah, let's get Will Smith for this shit."
Exactly. But this could have easily been a flop, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like if they didn't put the effort in, because like the dialogue is probably my favorite. Like I like Aliens as much as the next guy, but like the dialogue in this is fucking flawless. Like everything is so quick though, so like you miss a lot of it. So like I've seen this movie a few times, and each time I laugh because I never remember how good the one-liners are because they're so fast. But God, they make. You know what it is? They make quips work, I think, because it doesn't feel like, even though I do like when actors do read what's off the script, yes, because that's what's being written for the film. Still, though, I do have a feeling that Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones did ad-lib a decent amount, and that does work simply because it's coming from them somewhat. Right. So it's a bit different than, like, there's certain things in a Joss Whedon film, let's say, or in a Joss Whedon television show, where some of the dialogue, I'm not saying that it's not funny, and that the quips aren't funny, but it seems like it came out of his mouth, if you know what I mean. Versus like, oh, this is something that Captain America would say. Or this is something that so-and-so would say. It feels like it's Whedon saying, this is funny, this is going to come out of all of you. Like, even though I love the first Avengers movie, and I love some of the quips from it, still, it feels like Whedon is saying this, not this is Thor saying this, or this is Cap saying, like, I understood that reference. I love it, and I love the way it's been memed. I do, but it's not something Cap would necessarily say, if you know what I mean. Where like, sorry, that one just holds a personal place in my heart because it feels like me.
Yeah, exactly.
I have those moments all of the time.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, so Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was from 1990 to 96. So I wonder if I wonder if it ended because it was 6 years, or if it ended because it was like, hey, I'm going to go do Independence Day, and we'll see what happens from there. And, well, he did quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, I mean, God, it's so funny. Looking at his filmography, just for a second, just Will Smith's, it really hits me how much shit I've seen him in. Whereas, like, have I really seen him in a lot? And then I see, like, iRobot, and I'm like, oh, shit, Shark Tale. Oh, shit, Hitch. Oh, shit, I Am Legend. Oh, shit. Like, it just punch after punch after punch. I'm like, my God, he was good.
Right.
And then Suicide Squad, and I'm like, he tried. He did what he could. You know, everyone did. He did what he could, and I don't blame him. Yeah, but did you see Shark Tale back in the day?
I didn't see it when it came out. I saw it when it was like on TV.
It's not bad.
No, yeah, it was funny when I was like I haven't seen it since, but like I chuckled when I was younger.
Yeah. Oh, it was funnily enough. Speaking of our gaming channel, Matt, we weren't speaking of it. Speaking of our gaming channel, no, but
we are now. Damn it.
You know the Game Boy Advance videos? Do you remember that shit?
Yes, I do.
If anyone doesn't remember, for some odd reason, and it was interesting because it wasn't the worst idea. It's just that they were very expensive. If you had a kid at the time, or younger brother, or if you were the youngest at the time, you could have bugged your parents to try to buy you Game Boy Advance cartridges for your Game Boy Advance, but movies were on them, or television shows. So you could buy one for like Pokemon, or you can buy like the Shrek movie, or in this case, Shark Tale was one of the movies. I think it was like a combo pack or something. But you could actually, just put the cartridge in and just watch it directly off of your Game Boy Advance. And here's the kicker, interestingly enough, dude, you can't plug it into like a Retron 5 because it's copyright protected on it.
Right. Shit.
So so I don't even think you could play it on your DS.
Huh.
Because understandably so, Nintendo put certain things into place to make sure you couldn't pirate them, even though it was the worst quality possible because it's meant to run on a Game Boy Advance screen. Right?
Yeah.
Even though it's terrible, still they don't want people to easily pirate it in some form or another. So they had certain protections that I'm pretty sure you can't play them on newer clone consoles that could play it. Even technically a DS counts as a clone, arguably. So I'm pretty sure. But anyway, so Shark Tale was one of those movies, funnily enough. Also, something when I was looking up Men in Black and just looking at some facts, trivia, this was crazy to me. I didn't realize that DVD came out so early. So I knew that this came out in 97, right? And I know that it came out on VHS in 97. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, I'm reading this and I'm like, yes, I definitely had it, or my dad had it on VHS. But apparently it also came out on DVD the same year, 1997. And I'm blinking, and I'm like, because I knew that DVDs came out earlier than that. Every time I think, oh, DVDs came out in this year, I read up and I'm like, all right, no, it was a year earlier, my bad. But I thought like one of the earliest DVDs was The Matrix in like 99. And apparently it's like, no, Men in Black in 97 came out on DVD. Very odd to think about that. Like, we were 5. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like you and I, most of our lives, at least in my head, at least younger lives, existed on VHS. Like the amount of VHS tapes that I have is insanity. And so that's why it's kind of interesting. Maybe it's because our parents, you and I both have said this on the show, tried to save money. So maybe that's why we existed with tapes longer than other people did, maybe. Well, because I think I've talked about this before, just side note, I didn't get an N64 until the GameCube's life cycle had started. So when I got a Super Nintendo when I was 5, when you actually start doing research, I'm like, wait a minute. The Super Nintendo was cheap at that time. Mom! Like I look at some of the games and I realize that they're re-releases. They're still great. Like my Mega Man X is a Majesco re-release, which means that instead of it being 60, it's actually 30. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, my dad saved money. Good, great game. I'm happy he bought it, but like my dad got a discount game. It's just kind of funny to think about when you look back on it, how much it's like, what was your gaming library like? It was what was on sale. Like is that how you got Disney's Dinosaur, or was that just you going, I like dinosaurs? I feel like it was a little bit of both.
Yes.
It had to have been. Like I look at Disney's Dinosaur and I look at Hot Wheels and I'm like, yo, those had to have been in like the $10, $15 bin.
Yeah.
Just easy sales. But anyway, but by the way, not just pointing out, speaking of the PlayStation 1, did you know that there was a Men in Black PlayStation 1 game?
I vaguely remember that. I don't know if I ever played it, but
here's the fucking weirdest shit that you're going to hear tonight, Tristan. Did you know that they came out with an exclusive, this was like a raffle giveaway thing, an exclusive Men in Black PlayStation console?
Damn.
It's all black, and it has the Men in Black logo on the PlayStation logo, instead of it.
Right.
I didn't fucking know about this. But apparently this thing exists. And, I kind of want to do research on this and do a video.
Time to track it down.
Well, that's the thing. You can't track it down on eBay, and apparently no one's selling it because, they only had, a couple hundred copies or something, or versions. Now, granted, I'm not trying to tell anyone that it's supposed to be a lot of money because, no. I don't like to do that and be like, oh, it's worth a lot of money because yada yada. No, because it depends on who actually wants it. That's how much it's worth. who actually wants the thing. Not, oh, there's only 100 copies, so it has to be a lot of money. No. But I'm actually interested. Like, if you're listening to this and you had this or you have this, like, message us down below because I want to hear about how you got it. Like, I legit want to do a video on this on our Those Guys Play channel, like, just do some more research on it. Because when I heard about it while watching the movie, I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, there was a console? Because as much as I love Men in Black, that's odd. You know?
Yeah. Seems like an odd direction to go with it in, but hey, fuck it.
Well, no, because, like, my initial thoughts were not that this movie didn't have a huge budget, because it clearly did. They were filming in New York. They had the CG. They have Will Smith. And they have Tommy Lee Jones. Like, this movie clearly had a huge budget, but still, like, you didn't, sometimes you never know if a movie's going to make its money back, you never know. But, like, in this case, it was kind of like, no, it seems like they actually had a lot of marketing behind this. Like, they had a big push behind this. If you have a fucking PlayStation console, dedicated to this, clearly there was a lot of money in marketing.
Right.
And remember, they were giving them away. They didn't, like, sell, like, X amount of copies. Like, they were, like, giving them away in, like, raffles and shit.
Right. Huh.
So, yeah, because I'm pretty sure they didn't have this on the market. And, again, I'm mentioning this to you guys. I haven't done a lot of research on this, but it seemed to have been more a bit of, like, we only have X amount to give away. So I want to do more research, but it's just very weird. Like, it's just...
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a promotional PlayStation. So, technically it could have been sold.
Lucky you if you're out there and you're listening and you got that promotional PlayStation. It must be pretty sweet now.
I hope so. It's still a regular PlayStation. But, like...
I know, but still.
I would feel bad if someone was like, I didn't take good care of it. That would be terrible.
Yeah.
It's chipping. Be like, oh, dude.
That's how I felt with my PSP that got cracked.
That's how I feel about your Pokemon Crystal. Even though that's not your fault.
Yeah.
That's not your fault. That's just the save
battery just finally went. Yep.
Well, the save battery, you mean?
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah, okay. No, because you have, like, a special... You won a contest, right?
Yep.
Was it like on Kids WB or like Toonami or?
Yep. No, it was Kids WB. Yep.
Okay. We'll talk about that later because I want to see if there's footage of them saying your name out loud.
Probably not.
I think
they only did it for like first place.
Oh, and that wasn't first place? Didn't you get like a cartridge with like... You got a cartridge with legendaries on it.
Yep. That was like third.
Damn, son.
Thing.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, first place was like winning tickets to see the movie in like a director's cut theater and whatever. It was like the fourth Pokemon movie.
So yeah,
and, like, three of your friends. And
have you played with the cartridge since then?
No, I haven't.
Good. I'm gonna Google see if like even though if the data is retrievable in some way, like you can't like it's not like I'm just curious only because like that I want that to be preserved because like it's insanity that they gave you that with the save because it was a save already on it and then you started in a room and all the legendaries were on it.
Yep.
That's crazy. Anyway, that's a side note, but still, no promotional PS1. That's nuts. It's nuts. What I do find kind of sad, though, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, but the movie starts off, the second one starts off this way anyway, so it's not a crazy spoiler, but they sadly don't continue the story of Will Smith and the new recruit.
Right. Oh, they don't?
No, and I think maybe, and if she didn't want to come back, that's fair. But if she did, and they were just like, no, let's just try to do things with Tommy Lee Jones. Like, I'm pretty sure they did not continue their story.
Damn. I could have sworn she was in the second one. I guess
she may have been in it, but they didn't, like, continue their story.
Oh,
like, she may have been in it in general, maybe. It's been a while, to be fair.
Mean. Yeah.
Yes. And she wasn't in the third one. That I can tell you for sure.
I guess we'll just have to find out on the next
Have you seen the third one?
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen them all at least once.
Oh, yeah, third one was. Anyway, this one, what I also like about this one too is that it's just the designs of the aliens, right? So, we mentioned the props a little bit earlier, or the suits a little bit earlier, but I love practical effects. You and I both are huge proponents of we just push practical effects all the time if we can. Like, nothing wrong with CG every now and again, but practical effects, like, it looks real for a reason, because it is. So it just feels right. And yes, you might want to put a little bit CGI on there, especially, as you go on with the movie, you put it on a different format like Blu-ray or 4K. I get it, but it's still nice to have that baseline of I'm holding a physical object to always revert back to if necessary. Where when it comes to if it was completely CG, if all of this was completely CG, it would just look weird in a similar way to, the cockroach at the end looking a little off. Not crazy off, to be fair. Good CG for 97, but still it looks off for a reason.
That thing scared the ever-living hell out of me when I was younger.
Me too. Definitely. And I'm a little nervous because now it's that time of year where, where flying roaches like to appear in people's dominions. So as I'm seeing this, I'm just like I'm with a chancleta, like I'm ready to like strike. Like, hey, like, Eddie, you around? Whoa, what, you gonna come out for your homie? What?
You got bug spray and a fly swatter. You got bug spray in one hand, fly swatter in the other, and then the atom demoralizer strapped to your back.
Speaking of the bug spray, David Cross was the guy that died. The one dude with the earring who was at the morgue. Yeah, David Cross, he's a funny comedian. He's also been in Scary Movie 2 and I think some other scary movie, not even scary movies, but some other funny movies as well. I'm trying to think if he was in something that you would know him from. Let me see here. But either way, it was just nice seeing him. I'm like, I know that face. Oh, God, wow, I saw him in this as a kid.
Right, yeah.
Let me see. David Cross. Oh, he was in Arrested Development. Wow. He's in Modern Family. He's in, oh God, right, he was in Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, good
All
God.
of them. He voiced over characters in Kung Fu Panda, Megamind. Huh. I didn't realize he did that. I'm trying to think if there's something that he did that I'm like, hey, did you, like, Tristan, he was in X, but I don't think so. Either way, though, I want to as I'm looking this up, I want to pass this over to you. So what do you think is your favorite part of the movie?
I guess when they fight the roach. I don't...
My favorite part, personally... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, the character survived. Huh.
Oh, right, yeah, no, because he glued him to the ceiling, and that's when the slime drips on Kay's cigarette, and he realizes, oh, crap.
No, he glued him, but I thought he covered his mouth, and he looked like his eyes were open, like, not of I'm alive, but open, like, this is how I died.
I was hoping he was... It felt like,
But anyway, so my favorite part is when Will Smith is fucking with tourists. He's just like, yeah, New York, you have black men raiding from the sky. And I was like, God damn it.
Right. My God.
That was just a funny line just to randomly spout out. Like, again, you start the movie and you're like, all right, crazy chase. What's the tone of this movie? What's it going to be like? And then he just says that, and I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of hard for me to, like, pick a favorite part of the movie, because I just love the one-liners so much that it would probably be easier for me to do, like, a top 10 of my favorite lines.
Oh, God.
But then again, I'd have to go back and, like, memorize each line. But, yeah.
So, for me, I'll say this. My least favorite part of the movie is Kay getting decommissioned, but not because it's sad, because, like, it is. But, like, it's mostly because, again, I'm sitting here and I'm like, this does not make sense. Why are we ending the movie in this way? This does not make sense.
Right.
And this is someone who wanted to just enjoy the ride. You know, you think a little bit, sure, but again, like you can't, because I don't want to be one of those guys where like you can't think too much, because I hate saying that. But like if you thought too much, then it's like you have to have a high suspension of disbelief to believe, yeah, aliens exist and no one knows about them. Especially, to be fair, it makes it a little bit easier in the 90s, just a little bit, because you don't have smartphones.
Right.
Like that's the one hard thing about doing. I'm wondering how Men in Black International is going to be, because it's very hard doing something like that without considering smartphones. But anyway, putting that aside though, a bit easier in the 90s, just a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even look at Kay's phone, it's still a flip.
Oh my God!
But it's like this high-tech phone. Those always kill me. I love shit like that.
Yeah. Oh, I loved when they made I love when movies make the predictions that just never actually pan out. Like, oh yeah,
right.
mini disc is going to replace DVDs, and it's like, oh, you guys don't even know what streaming is. It's just so funny. You know what I mean? Like sometimes sci-fi gets it right, or at the very least, you know, people work off of what the sci-fi predicted to make it come true. But like discs didn't get smaller. We just got rid of the discs.
Right.
Well, no, because like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because with tech, it's like some things get smaller, like the phones get smaller. Although now we're jumping back to bigger phones, like iPads and stuff like that. But like, still, like things get smaller sometimes. But like, we didn't go from like DVD to like smaller DVD. It was like DVD, Blu-ray, and now there are people that are like, I don't have any discs. Internet.
Right.
Not that the internet didn't exist back then, obviously it did, but I'm just saying that it's kind of funny how, like, in that one case where it's just like, yeah, the future is these mini discs, and it's just like, oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. That, like, you thought. Oh, Kay getting eaten. Isn't that something? I don't know how new it was at the time, but man, that's something that has been done since then, like, to death. Not to the character's death, but in general. Like, a lot of characters have done stuff like that since, I think, in media.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm going to get eaten, but don't worry, because there's some way I'll get out. Like either you have the gun or like, you know, it's like I'm doing this for a purpose. That's the thing. I'm being eaten. Oh, no, but it's for a purpose. Like I'm sure it's happened beforehand. I mean, technically Pinocchio was eaten for a purpose.
Right.
But still, like, it's happened beforehand in other media. But, like, still, just thinking about this from when I was a kid till now, I'm like, man, there's a fair amount of media that somebody...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That somebody's eaten in. That always terrifies me, too. Like, that never stops being, like, horrifying.
Right.
Like, just on a subtle level to everyone. Like,
yeah,
that's never something you look at and be like, nah, I'm sure he's fine. I mean, kind of in here, you're like, oh. Because, like, hey, it's like, I'm going to get my gun back. But at the same time, you're like, that's not the way I thought you were going to do that, but all right. And Kay
well, there's only two
how
holes.
Else did you think I was... Yeah, how else did you think I was going to get it? I mean, couldn't they just make you another one?
Well, no, it's just much easier to do that from the inside.
Yeah, right. I mean, shit, They did that in Godzilla 2000.
See, that's what I'm saying.
That scared the hell out of me. Like,
yeah,
I almost started crying as a kid when I saw that, because I'm like, no, he's eating Godzilla! And then he blows him the fuck up. And I was like, oh, that was the best way to end that.
I just see King of the Monsters Godzilla in the distance. Is he stretching? I'm just waiting to get eaten.
Just, oh my God.
Do it.
I mean, if he does that to Ghidorah, I'm going to be very confused as to how Ghidorah managed to eat him in the first place. But
fucking do it. Is he stretching? Fucking do it. I dare you. All right, now it's getting weird. Now he's asking for it a bit too much. Now it's getting weird.
Ghidorah unhinges his jaws. Oh God, no!
Oh my God. Godzilla's just like, he's getting eaten, but Mothra and Rodan aren't. And he's like, guys, I thought we talked about this. All for one or all for none. No, we're good. We're not gonna. No. Stupid if one of us does it. It's stupid if three of us do it. Nope. Anyway, so do you agree that that's your least favorite part of the movie, the end result, kind of how they wrapped it up?
Yeah.
And it's not because it's not least favorite just because like, oh, I didn't want it. I think it's just least favorite because I think even as a kid, maybe not kid, but like when I rewatched it even just a few years later, and remember at the time I was 5, so like I'm sitting there at 9 and I'm like, but why did he do that though? Like why couldn't he just be like, great kid, I'll work with you for a month and then do it? Why'd he do that though? That's so soon. Like,
right.
It's a lovely scene to see man awakens from 35-year coma. Like, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
No, because it's beautiful because he then, sees his wife again or girlfriend,
with
whoever.
His wife.
Yeah, with his.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
or
that was his
yeah,
wife.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know if they. No, yeah, no. The tabloid said wife. I thought.
Yes, right. I believe so too. Yeah. So it's just really nice that they do that, but it's just, it's just one of those things where it was like, man, like it felt like they kind of had to just wrap it up real quick. And it was like, well, what are we going to do? Yeah, we got to get this thing done. We only have X amount of, we only have an hour 40. So it's like, okay. Like, I'm not saying that you can't end in a similar way. It's just like, he's been doing it for 2 days. And you said it, to be fair. You were like, well, there's a certain level of trust by bringing him in, which is very accurate. But, like, man, you need someone as a mentor, which, to be fair, it does seem like Zed is going to be taking over a role of a mentor role. But in this movie, he did not have that vibe at all.
No, right. He just seemed to. He was like logistics. You know? Like, I am here running things. I do not have time to train your ass. No disrespect, but like, I need to be here.
Oh, it fucking killed me when the ball was flying around and Zed just like, normal fucking day, just moves his head.
Right. This happens every fucking time.
I fucking lost it. Also, seeing the different types of aliens, which was nice too. Again, like some of them CG, but either way, still just seeing them just kind of walking around normally was a lot of fun. Again, just throwing us into this world and then having certain characters just act as if this is, everyday normal occurrence. It's interesting how they flip the roles of who is the straight man and who is the comedic man, depending on what the situation is, if you will. Do you know what I mean? Like, where it seems as if this, you have Tommy Lee Jones being the guy who's just like, yeah, this is normal for me. Why is this weird? Haha, right? And then of course you have Will Smith in the role of, the outsider. But it kind of is interesting how, depending on the situation, it gets flipped relatively quickly in this movie. It really just, again, depends. So, like, when you have Will Smith talking to the mortician, immediately it's flipped, where it's just like, he is in his element. And you have Cage being like, hey, we're working on this case. It's like, no, we are, but not right this second. How did you feel about the end when like they just zoomed out of everything? That was odd. I know it was trying to show the scope of everything, but my God, that got weird.
Yeah.
Like we're intergalactic marble somewhere.
Right. Yep. We're just a marble in some alien's bag that's playing with all the other galaxies. Like, it's weird. Like, it's funny because, like, they had, the galaxies on Orion's belt, so it's not like the theme wasn't there, but then at the end, it's like, oh yeah, you thought aliens were a mindfuck? Guess what? Your whole galaxy's a marble in some little alien kid's bag, and it's just playing with it. It's like, oh God, guys, all right, we were here for the ha-has. Well, what the fuck? Yeah, no, like I haven't prayed in a long time, but I grew up Catholic. Pray for anyone who watched this while on LSD. Like, I pray for their souls. God. Like, the amount of... No, because, like, I don't know what parts of the movie might have freaked him out. Like, maybe Frank would have freaked him out. Just being a talking dog, being shook, just maybe freaked him out. But the end there, when you just zoom out of everything, and then you're just being picked up and put into a fucking bag. Like, I don't know if it was a good trip, but, man, that turned into a bad trip real fast. Yeah.
Like,
we need to go back. We need to go back.
Like literally, you got to put on like just something, just some good vibes. I don't know what you got to put on. Maybe some just trees, some animal sounds. I don't know, man. Maybe nothing too crazy. No monkey sounds. Something that can get warped and weird. Just some nice birds.
Right.
Just some chill shit. No, because like that is a really big, not like, I don't want to say a Shyamalanian twist, but it's a twist that it's very odd that it came out of this movie at the end when, again, the movie was not really questioning stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
At least not like outwardly as like a main theme kind of deal.
Exactly.
I mean,
and then again,
in a way, saying like, think of what you'll know tomorrow. Like when Kay was talking to Jay before, it's like, oh, let me know your answer at sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone thought, the Earth was flat, and then you walked in 15 minutes ago, you thought we were alone on this planet.
Oh, yeah.
And what you'll know tomorrow.
But the audience knows that, but the characters don't.
Right.
That's why it's odd of like a... I'm saying it becomes a Twilight Zone. It becomes a Twilight Zone twist at the end in a way. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like, whoa, I was not expecting Roddenberry in all of this. I was expecting... This got real weird, real quick, and then there's no way to, like, jump from it then. Like, I guess maybe to them they were like, no, it's fun. Like, see how it's fun at the end. Like, it's weird, but, like, to you and I, we're like, bad trip. We don't do drugs.
I mean,
but
it
we're
was
still
fun
just, like,
and weird.
It was
also,
okay,
the more
fair.
you think about it, the more it's like, oh God, this is a bad trip.
Oh, my God. No, it was fun and weird. You know what it is, too? It's just because it's all CG, it just doesn't hold up to me. That's another thing, too.
Oh, I see.
I mean, that's just a side note, I guess. But, man, that song at the end, though, like Will Smith rapping, I was like, yeah, like Will Smith wasn't terrible at rapping. It just really depended on the song.
Right, yeah.
Like, there's some songs
yeah, when
where
it
I'm
came
like,
on, I was like, oh, shit, right, he did the theme, too. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, right, yeah. And that's another cool thing too. Like it's just he had a very triple threat kind of vibe, where it's like singer, actor. I believe he danced as well, somewhat.
Yeah.
So I believe he did for some music videos or like when he was on tour. So it was just this triple threat vibe that it just worked really well, for him. So it was kind of funny, like how it's just like like again it makes sense that he is the star that he is today. Not sure about Aladdin, but it's not really his fault. It's not really, I'm not going to blame him, but I'm not too sure about that Aladdin.
I think it looks better now than it did like the first few times we saw it.
Well, no, the cut of the trailer now looks better than.
Yeah.
But there was they released like a little bit of one of the songs, and I was just like, it feels so mellow, like they didn't really like, and again, it's not Will Smith's fault. It's just it's in my opinion, it's direction and et cetera. But I mean, again, we'll have to see what happens from there with that movie. We've talked about that before on Kikaku Corner, so not going to really get into it now. But yeah, I'm still shocked that this came from a Marvel comic. I do want to read the comic and definitely read some of the adaptations and see where they, how they may have changed things here and there. But yeah, so is there anything else you want to say about this before we start to wrap this one up?
I think I'm good.
All right. I definitely enjoyed this. Oh, did you go to see this with your family in the theaters? Or was this like a stay-at-home thing?
No. I think they might have seen it, but I didn't.
Right. Okay.
I didn't see this until it was like out on like TV and stuff.
Okay. I was gonna say I assume you have it on VHS, but I guess not.
We might. I'm not sure.
I know it's not a worn out tape.
It wasn't like one of my go-tos as a kid.
Yeah, no, it's not Star Trek. I'm sorry, it's not Star Wars or even.
How dare
Did you see Star Trek with your dad?
I'm sorry?
Did you also see Star Trek with your dad?
Like. What, the newer
like
ones
TOS.
or the old? Oh, not as much. Like my mom and dad both watched Star Trek. I didn't see as much of it. I saw more. Like I've seen a bit more now that I'm older. But
yeah, no, I know it's a Star Wars household. I know.
I mean, they love
we watched
Star Trek too, so.
I know, but like it felt like you were definitely immersed in Star Trek as a kid. Star Wars more than Star Trek.
Yeah.
But still, what I'm getting at though is I'm just curious because again, like I have memories. I don't know about the theater, but I have memories seeing it with my dad at home and stuff like that. So I was wondering, I'm like, did you guys see it? Like, because I know usually when we talk about movies and you're like, yeah, I saw it as a kid, like either Star Wars or even Godzilla, the '90s one.
Yeah.
Like you saw that
Right.
in King Kong even in the 2000s. You saw that in theaters with your dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So usually we talk about stuff that you saw or I saw in theaters, but I'm not sure about this one. I'm pretty sure this might have been like seeing it at home, but again, being completely blown away by some of the stuff that you see in it, because especially seeing it on I'm pretty sure at the time I was seeing it on a smaller television set, so things looked more quote unquote real. So like seeing the aliens, the puppets, seeing the ones drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, like it all just seemed real and scary. And I think that's another thing that's too. It's very interesting, like how it resonates with you as a child. Like it's scary just enough, but it's not too scary. Like it's a nice middle ground that's like, all right, this is, you might be a little bit scared behind the couch, but it's not something that's like completely out of place that you shouldn't be seeing. Like me seeing Child's Play.
But the scary doesn't stay on the screen for too long, so I can come back out from behind the couch.
That too. It's not Child's Play. I think I told you that story, right? I saw Child's Play a little bit as a kid, and I got freaked out for life.
Oh, right.
Like I'm sure I'm good now, but I'll admit, like if you bought that doll and placed it in my house,
oh God,
and I learned it was you, I would hire a hitman. Like
not just any hitman, the best hitman. I would hire Hit to kill you.
Oh no, I would bring the doll to life via black magic.
Jesus Christ.
I'd be like, haha, funny joke, and he'd be like, yeah, funny joke, and he'd just fucking stab the shit out of you.
Well,
Matt, what have you done? And I'm like, everything I needed to. Just watching the whole thing.
Was it worth it? Yes. What did you have to lose? Everything.
You were the chosen one.
God damn it.
I'm looking at a fucking...
to destroy the Satan-possessed dolls, not join them.
I'm looking at a fucking doll. I'm like, execute order 66. And the doll's just like, whatever, man, you're paying me by the hour.
Oh, my God. Because you would do that, and the doll would know exactly who to kill. You motherfucker.
Oh, man. I'm just saying, don't fucking put that Chucky doll in my house, because I will... You will have bad juju for generations. All right?
I just open this. I hear a knock at the door. I just open the door slowly. If you strike me down, I shall only become more powerful than you could ever, like, oh, God, my liver.
Jesus. All right. Anyway, we're going to wrap this fucking up. We're done.
This is going on a weird tangent.
It's gone on
just like
far
the marbles.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That's the thing. I think it's hard to express, I think, especially if there are some people who are, they watched the movie recently. I can totally understand why you might not get it. And I don't mean get it like, oh, we're so highbrow, but like get where we're coming from when we talk about it. Because because again, like I don't want to say it's only based on nostalgia, but I do think that with a movie like this, it's like watching it in the 90s at the height of Will Smith's popularity.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm not saying he's not popular now. Like, he's still a household name.
Oh,
everybody knows him. But, like, at that peak where, like, now, after certain movies that he's done, not all, but certain movies that he's done within the last, like, 10 years, like, there are some cracks. Especially if this movie, Aladdin, doesn't do well. There are some cracks. But, like, at that point with Will Smith, the idea, in my opinion, was, like, no, Will Smith is in this movie. You gotta go see it. And again, that kept up with like I, Robot and I Am Legend and a bunch of other films. I would argue, God, what was it, After Earth, the one that was like a Shyamalan film that we didn't do for 12 Nights of Shyamalan because it's technically not a horror movie. That was like one where people were like, I don't know.
Right.
And like you started to see cracks, not in his performance, but like in this idea that like Will Smith like is box office untouchable.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, or at the very least entertaining untouchable. Because like again, like seeing him in iRobot, like I still have that movie on DVD somewhere in my house.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, what was that other? Like I just mentioned it. I Am Legend. Despite some stuff in the movie, still like it was, God damn. That I cried during certain parts. I don't want to spoil it for people, but there are certain parts of the movie I cried at. Yeah, no, like it's so like at watching this movie like in the 90s, and even if you weren't a kid, but at the peak of Will Smith's popularity, like it was just nuts. Like thinking about, you know, people talking about it. Again, I don't know how much they talked about it before it came out because again, I was a kid, but after the fact, everybody I remember talking about it like at school and stuff like that. So yeah, I do wonder what people. Hey, heck, I want you guys, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, those guys on the radio, please comment down below if you've seen this movie recently, either again looking back on it, or you've seen it for the first time. And I want to hear your thoughts because I want to know how they differ from us. If it just feels like we're maybe relying a little bit too much on nostalgia, because you know, I don't know. I just feel like for a movie like this, it was just a lot of fun that like I can overlook certain things for it.
Yeah.
Because of how, like, if some of it was more wooden, then, like, you know, and it didn't, some of the quips didn't work, then I'd be like, oh, no.
Right.
But I think everyone played off each other so well that it just, something about it just clicked in my head, both at the time and now. So anyway, either way, though, we're going to wrap this thing up. Hopefully you had a blast. Hopefully you've enjoyed our odd ramblings. I don't know where you listen to our odd ramblings, but hopefully you enjoyed it, like I just mentioned, on our YouTube channel or on our Blog Talk Radio, blogtalkradio.com/thoseguysonthe-radio, or you searched us up on iTunes, searched up Those Guys, and you found us there. Either way, really hope you've enjoyed it. I mentioned our channels before throughout the episode, so you know about TG Productions and Those Guys Play. We do gaming stuff on Those Guys Play, plethora of gaming stuff, either reviews, let's plays, different things like that, talk about news topics. With TG Productions, we usually do stuff on tokusatsu, i.e. Japanese superhero stuff, or stuff like Godzilla, and pro wrestling as well. You can, again, check that out over at our TG Productions YouTube channel, and also some anime sprinkled in every now and again. We do stuff like that. And on our Those Guys on the Radio channel, which you're hopefully listening to this on right now, we do podcasts and we talk about different nerdy news topics over at Keikaku Corner. So, love you all, take care, and tune in next time for another episode of Friday Night Movies. Say goodnight, Tristan.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.